Ja, willkommen zurück zu Vampyr. Wir waren hier am Krankenhaus stehen geblieben und schauen wir uns doch mal um.
At least that mistress of the dark has stopped following me.
Ja,
Good evening, nurse.
können die
I'm Dr.
ansprechen.
Jonathan Reid, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
Oh, da kann man auch viel erzählen, beziehungsweise fragen.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Okay, was haben wir noch? Erzählen Sie mir vom
I'm
Personal.
not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Aha, neuer neuer Hinweis
Nurse
über den
Brannigan, if you
Tippets.
do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No, I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Nun gut. Da hatten wir jetzt alles, ne? Aber das immer noch so leuchtet. Hinweis benötigt, okay. Ja, da scheinen wir wohl alles zu haben. Naja, wir müssen eh nochmal wieder
Call
kommen.
me if you need assistance.
Okay. Jo, erstmal hier als neuer Doktor alles leer räumen.
Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
Ja.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reid. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reid. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reid. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Aha. Okay, da kann ich noch nichts fragen.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know, and by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I'll bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. most of the time.
Immerhin.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Oh, eine neue Bürgeruntersuchung ist verfügbar. Drücke Tab, um das Menü für örtliche Untersuchung aufzurufen. Okay. Bürgeruntersuchungen werden hier nach Bezirk sortiert angezeigt. Du kannst eine neue Bürgermission beginnen, indem du sie mit linker Maustaste verfolgst und dann deine Karte aufrufst, um die zu erforschende Gegend zu bestimmen. Bürgeruntersuchung, okay. Bildhooks. Ja, und jetzt?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reid. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Aha, ja, okay, da kann ich dann quasi meine Schilling ausgeben. Schrotflinte. Na, da brauchen wir noch ein bisschen. Aber gut zu wissen, wo wir unsere Schillinge loswerden.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reid has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Da fehlen uns noch Hinweise.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reid. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
Oh, das ist sehr tiefgründig.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree
Warum nicht
with
als
Dr.
Frau?
Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No, we must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Okay. Na ja, gut.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Spricht er jetzt wirklich mit der? Hat das irgendwelche Auswirkungen?
Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
Kantinenservice. Okay. Oh. Patschiger Dummkopf, okay. Wer war damit gemeint? Hatten wir den? Ach ja, das ist der Tippett. Wie sieht's hier aus?
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Ist dem so?
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Guck mal nicht noch mal jemanden an, wer mit dem redet.
How would you describe the situation at Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. They're running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
Reißen Sie
You
zusammen.
must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Neuer Hinweis verfügbar.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Ja, ist ja auch gut. Man muss ja hier nicht ewig quatschen. Ich denke mal, die sind ausgelaugt genug. Gerade in so Zeiten. Hier herrscht ja das reinste Chaos. Sieht man ja schon hier. Also hygienisch ist was anderes. Wer ist er?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reid? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. the benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reid. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Aren't you too old for such
Nehmen wir
jealousy?
das.
It really won't do you any good, you know.
Don't be ridiculous, Dr. Reid. A simple glance is enough for me to know you have nothing for me to envy.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Okay.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reid, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd.
Okay, sind die beiden fertig mit ihrer Anfeindung? Haben wir da noch was? Nein. Na gut.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Oh ja, das werden wir. Okay, okay. Hatten wir die schon? Ist das die von vorhin? Weiß nicht.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Ach ja, das war die vom
Thank you,
Anfang.
Nurse Crane.
Den kann ich auch anreden, okay.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reid.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reid? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails. not flesh and bones.
Okay. Persönliche Fragen. Haben wir noch nichts. Okay,
Goodbye for
bye.
now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Always knew the words to calm the children, Helen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Der war das mit den Dummkopfen. Den habe ich bis da draußen gehört. Das ist ja Wahnsinn. Ein unvollendeter Brief. Pembroke Hospital, 2. November. Meine lieben Kinder, es tut mir leid, dass ich euch bisher nicht geschrieben habe, aber es schmerzt höllisch, allein diese paar verflixten Wörter zu Papier zu bringen. Macht euch keine Sorgen. Daddy kommt aus dem Krankenhaus, sobald die Ärzte seinen Arm heil gemacht haben. Wenn ihr bis dahin etwas braucht, geht zu Mr. Chadwick auf der Baustelle und sagt ihm, dass ihr Harvey Fiddicks Kinder seid. Erinnert ihr euch an Robert Chadwick, der große Mann mit dem Schnurrbart, der mir letzten Frühling half, die Haustür zu reparieren? Geht zu ihm und bittet ihn um ein paar Schillinge. Er wird euch sicherlich helfen. Leider kann ich gerade nicht arbeiten, aber wir lassen uns etwas einfallen, wenn ich zurück bin. Keine Angst, wenn Daddys Arm wieder bei Kräften ist, wird alles gut. Wenn die Ärzte endlich meinen Arm geheilt haben, werde ich... ... Ja, wie? Der schreibt einen Brief an die Kinder, damit die nicht verhungern und wir nehmen den mit? Oh Gott. Also, dass Leute beißen und umbringen ist noch in Ordnung, aber den Brief mitnehmen? Nee. Irgendwann geht's so weit. Wer ist das denn? Hatten wir den schon? Oh.
A year! You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
Ja, da war man Zoff. Meine
Good
Güte.
evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reid. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reid.
Oh, ein Fan.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reid. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
Okay.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reid. But if you went personally to his shop, What with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Aha,
You
fehlen
seem quite
Inhaltsstoffe und
optimistic.
Untersuchungen.
It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Das glaube ich.
Goodbye, Dr.
Okay.
Strickland.
Dr. Strickland. Ja, also für das Quatschen kriegt man, glaube ich, mehr Erfahrung wie für das Kämpfen bisher. Ich habe jetzt 1280 EP. Aber mal schauen, da stand irgendwas neue Untersuchung verfügbar. Wo waren denn die Untersuchungen? War das hier oder da? Okay, da haben wir einen Hinweis, da auch und da auch. Betritt den Garten im Hinterhof. Mitternacht im Garten von Gut und Böse. Ach so, die beiden, die haben dann hier quasi die Quest, mit der ich... Ja, die hängen mit der Quest zusammen, okay. Und der halt mit der hier. Gut. Dann schauen wir noch mal ein bisschen hier. Von wo sind wir eigentlich gekommen? War das hier irgendwo? Was ist das denn? Wegen der Grippe nimmt dieses Krankenhaus keine weiteren Patienten auf. Das Krankenhaus ist voll. Bitte kehren Sie wieder heim. Toll. Sowas möchte man auch nicht lesen am Krankenhaus. Ne, hier ist ein anderer Ausgang. Wieso steht das nicht am Haupteingang? Oder stand das da und ich habe es übersehen? Okay, hier war der mit dem gebrochenen Arm. Da war die Blutschwester. Das war der Fanboy. War das die mich mal von der Seite so angeguckt hat? Ja, ich meine, das war die. Wer ist das? Ach, das ist der schräge Vogel. Die kenne ich noch nicht hier, die beiden. Beziehungsweise sind die neuen. Was machen die da?
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me.
Was ist mit seinem Gesicht passiert?
My blood and soul. They belong to you now.
The life running in your veins. This dead flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave.
Was ist mit dem los? Oh, jetzt kann ich die anquatschen.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reid, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reid, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Es sind nur Altersspuren. Du bist älter, Frau.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Keine Einsicht
I'm
zeigen.
assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Wir kümmern uns um sie.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Okay.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal.
Mistress of the Dark, Herrin der Dunkelheit, okay. Ja, so sieht's auch aus. Ja gut, jetzt hatten wir ein bisschen viel Rederei gehabt. Aber ja gut, ist halt ein Action-Rollenspiel und ein Rollenspiel wird halt oft viel geredet. Na gut, in diesem Sinne, in der nächsten Folge werden wir mal mit dem hier sprechen. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis bald.